Happy Valentine's Day. It's Tuesday, the 14th day of February at 9 o'clock on the dot. It's our daily show, and we got an awesome show for you today. We're jam-packed with guests. We're talking to Sunrise Moving Company here in about 20 minutes, and then we're going to be talking to Home Instead. They got a bunch of really great events coming up your way, especially if you're in the, lookout for a new job. And we got a bunch of guests in the 10 o'clock hour, too. We're going to be talking to Kristen Burns, who is running for Woods River City Council. Last week we had Bill Ditmars on, who was just fantastic, and we're going to get Kristen on today. And I like it because I don't have a say-so in that election in Wood River, so I get to kind of sit back with all of you and get, the candidate's perspective and platform. It's just kind of like what we did, in the march up to the November election, and just kind of let them say their platform, their background, without me kind of, throwing any points in or any jabs. It's not about that. It's for you guys getting information. Then we're wrapping up our show with Modified Auto out of East Alton. They have an amazing shop, and we're going to get some ins and outs of the services they provide. And if you haven't been by yet, check it out. You will not be sorry. But, I just... Today, I woke up and I looked outside and I saw the rain, and I walked outside the door and I felt the weather hitting me, and I thought, man, what better day just to call in sick and lay in bed and watch movies. I mean, seriously, but, we got a job to do, guys, and we're going to do it. But how many of you, if you guys had your perfect day off of work, your perfect stay in bed day, what day would it be? Would it be a rainy day, kind of humid like this one? Would it be a winter, snowfall? Would it be a thunderstorm in the summer? Weigh in on the text line. Let me know, 618-759-7469. But right now, it's time to take you to top of the hour news. And it's my time to tell you to sign up for your daily email update, and you can join over 60,000 of us that are in the know, as my good buddy Ray Hartman would say, each and every day of the week at 7:30 in the morning. National, statewide, local news, sports, event listings, classifieds, you all got it there on that email. It's a great service. We're going to take you to Edwardsville to start things off. A Metro East Sanitary District Commissioner is on the county board agenda this Wednesday for removal. Illinois law allows me to both appoint and remove MESD commissioners with county board approval. Madison County Board Chairman Kurt Prenzler said in a quote, the MESD board has 5 commissioners, 2 appointed by the St. Clair County Chairman, 2 by the Madison County Chairman, and 1 by the Mayor of Granite City. The commissioner on the agenda was appointed in 2017, and the term expired in 2022. A quote from Prenzler again says, I asked the commissioner to step down at the conclusion of the term, but the commissioner refused. Illinois law states that commissioners shall be paid the same salaries as the county board members from either of the St. Clair or Madison County, whichever is lower. Prenzler said that in addition to the salary, commissioners also receive health insurance benefits that county board members currently don't receive. The annual salary of the commissioner is $14,500, the same as Madison County board members. St. Clair County board members earn in excess of $19,000 per year, plus health insurance. Beginning on the 1st of January, health insurance benefits for part-time appointed MESD commissioners were reduced to $848 per month or $10,000 per year to cover employees. Previously, the cost was $385 per week or $20,000 per year, which included benefits for the family. The quote for Prenzler to wrap up the news story, it's not personal. It's not about, this is not personal. This is all about policy. It's high time that compensation for MESD commissioners comes into the line of the Madison County board members. That's the quote from Chairman Prenzler. We'll keep you updated on Thursday morning as how that meeting developed. Also in Edwardsville, on Thursday, the 16th of February, Edwardsville School District 7 will hold an informational night and open house at Lincoln Middle School at 6:30 p.m. for community members to learn more about the zero tax rate change bond, if passed, would address needed renovations and a partial rebuild of the aging school building. Edwardsville School District 7 will have a $100 million zero tax rate change bond referendum on the April 4th ballot. If approved by voters, the district would be able to issue $100 million in bonds to address essential safety and security upgrades, identified faculty needs and facility needs, and other identified critical maintenance. While some schools require more repair and renovation than other, every student attending school in our district will improve from the improved school buildings. That's the quote from the press release. We'll keep you updated as that meeting emerges too. Also in the news, Sierra Club Illinois, Three Rivers Project, the Alton YWCA, and Milton School Gardens along with Hampton Gardens is going to host 2 winter seed swaps coming up very soon. The Three Rivers Project of Sierra Club and the clubs mentioned are hosting 2 seed swaps this winter to provide community members with sociable space to swap and share quality seeds, cuttings, and bulbs. Join fellow farmers and gardeners in celebration of the end of winter and the start of spring gardening season at this community event, which is free and open to the public. The first seed swap will be held at the Milton Schoolhouse in Alton on the 25th day of February from 12 to 2 p.m. To register for the seed swap at the Milton Schoolhouse, visit the Facebook page. And the second one, right around the corner too, will be held at the Alton YWCA on Saturday, the 4th of March, from 12 to 2 p.m. To register, you'll have to head over to that Facebook page as well. And if you are sharing self-collected seeds, please label the homegrown seeds with the common or species name, the year, and your name. If you're sharing commercial seed packets, there is no need to label these packets. The first 20 attendees at each event will receive a door prize, a seed starter kit. So make sure you check out the seed swap. Also from Springfield, hunters in Illinois harvested a statewide total of 801 wild turkeys during the 2022-23 fall archery turkey season that was held between October 1st and January the 15th. The total compares with the statewide fall archery turkey harvest of 683 the year prior and is the third largest harvest total on record for the season in Illinois. The top 5 counties for fall archery wild turkey harvest this season were Vermilion with 27 turkeys harvested, Olga with 24, Clay 22, Marion with 21, and Randolph with 21 as well. And the season, 25,000 permits were sold, excluding landowner permits, compared to 24,000 from the year prior. All 102 counties were open for hunting. The harvest consisted of 58 males and 52% hens. And online at RiverBender.com, they compared the county's breakdown from last year's totals that you guys can check out at your own convenience. 2 more news stories for you today. Bethalto's Steve Lawrence checks off a bucket list item when he visited the Groundhog's Day celebration. Dan Brannon with the great write-up on this, content director for RiverBender.com. Bethalto's Steve Lawrence checked off a big bucket list item recently when he visited Puxtawney, Pennsylvania for the annual Groundhog's Day celebration. He said, quite frankly, when he returned, that this was fulfilling a notch on his bucket list. Quote, I went with my wife, Patty, my daughter and son-in-law, and 2 grandkids. Quote, they paid for my trip, which was a present at Christmas time. Steve Lawrence loves the movie Groundhog Day, starring the actor Bill Murray, and even watched the movie a few times while he was at the festival. Nice. Steve only lived the experience one time, while Murray's character, as we all know, relived the festivities over and over again, reflecting on the Groundhog Day movie. He said in the beginning, the character was not a very nice person. Steve said a carnival in the town square kind of reminded him of the Bethalto homecoming. And Steve closed by telling Dan, he said that he will forever be thankful to his family for providing such a meaningful gift he could enjoy with everyone. And as we wrap up top of the hour news on this 14th day of February, Valentine's Day, love's in the air and rain. The Illinois State Police are working with local law enforcement and community partners to continue to decrease the supply of opioids and other drugs devastating many neighborhoods. In 2022, the ISP Metropolitan Enforcement Groups and drug task forces across the state seized 679 firearms and almost 27,000 pounds of drugs and arrested nearly 2,000 individuals. The ISP, MEGs, and drug task forces are on the front lines of narcotic enforcement, prevention, and treatment strategies. MEGs and task forces represent a collaborative effort among state, federal, and local law enforcement agencies to enforce Illinois drug laws and investigate gang activity. That's a look at what's happening locally right here at 9:10 on this 14th day of February. You know, you guys did a good job. I just want to say all of you did a good job. So many love stories. You guys were submitting them online at RiverBender.com/love. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. And to see all your friends sharing them and to put them on their Facebook pages to tell your story. I mean, that's really cool. And, I just had so much fun telling you guys about this. And I wanted to thank Tony's Ranch House, or Tony's Steakhouse and Bar, Jeffrey's Flowers by Design, Reiniger Jewelers, and Duke Bakery, along with Tony's Steakhouse again, for helping us put this together, because it's one of my favorite things that Riverbender does. I think it's so fun, and you guys enjoy it. You guys have the time of your life, and it's awesome. So all the fun ones, all the really cool ones, all the cute ones, all the inspirational ones, thank you for helping us out with a little bit of Valentine's Day cheer. And I got to ask you, there's a poll on RiverBender.com right now, and, this is something that I talked with Ashley about a little bit, about a couple weeks ago, because we were talking about the poll and, maybe what to put on it. And I said, I'm kind of one that just says, why even go out? Let's watch a movie. Let's relax a little bit. But my text question for you today is this. What's your perfect Valentine's Day? Is it, that romantic dinner and a movie? Do you have to be all mushy? Is it a day at the spa? Those are expensive. Maybe even going and taking a, stroll over to a bed and breakfast. What is it? Mine, just staying in, and you get to, sit there and not have to worry about being bothered by anything. When 9/11, quick break, we'll come back, talk a little bit. Then we got Sunrise Moving Company coming on and telling us about their services. I mean, think about it. We're getting ready to be in spring. We're almost there. I mean, we're seriously almost into March, halfway through. We are officially halfway through February. I know, we got like 3 more months to go, then we'll be in March. But the bottom line is it's coming. And then with that spring weather change, there's so many times that you guys start looking for new houses, or maybe you're just trying to, downsize a little bit, move some of your material into a storage unit. Who knows? Sunrise Moving Company's got you covered. So we're going to be talking to them in just about 8 minutes or so. And then, like I said, at 9:40, talking to Home Instead, and then so much more coming around the bend. It's a busy show, and I'm glad you're here with me. At 9:12, we'll take a quick break, come back for more of our daily show in downtown Alton.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Inspiring her dreams and helping her pursue them. That's why we protect your house and your car, because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. American Family Insurance.
It is 9:15 on this Valentine's Day. Are you dancing with somebody tonight? Are you staying in until the weekend? You know, there were so many really, really cool and unique different ways to celebrate Valentine's Day this year that I think is just something I haven't seen before. You know, whether it was like, you saw on the Facebook of Riverbender, the paranormal, Valentine's Day experience over in Granite City, and so many more. I mean, just like with Alton Little Theater coming on and talking about Sinatra and having all these different ways to celebrate with that special someone ahead of Valentine's Day. It's something I think is really cool because, so many times in years past, you just look and it's, dinner specials and there's nothing wrong with dinner specials and all that, but just to have something a little bit different for somebody that just wants to try something new, I think it's awesome. And I'm, really glad that that you guys are doing it. I have a couple of things I wanted to tell you about as we're waiting on sunrise moving, but around wintertime especially, I always worry because the weather gets cold or maybe the wind starts picking up. It seems like in these couple of months, it's like the windiest time, besides the end of July. I don't know what it is, but the most deediest trees are pruned while they're in full dormancy, and this happens to be February or March for this part of the country. And, over here at RiverBender.com, we're provided a great resource with how we can really take care of our trees during the winter months because, what really worries me, it seems like more and more trees keep falling down by, the woods in my house. And it's kind of, something to take a look at and just to make sure we're doing the right thing. While many of our landscape trees don't necessarily need yearly pruning, the same can't be said for fruit trees, especially if you want your trees to consistently bear fruit. That's another problem. If fruit trees are left on their own devices, they can quickly get too tall to easily harvest the fruit at the top of the trees. Been there. Fruit trees are pruned for several reasons. First, to open the canopy so all branches receive sunlight. The more sunlight a branch gets, the better its fruit production will be. Second, to help manage diseases and make pesticide application easier. Then, opening the canopy to sunlight and air allows the canopy to dry out faster, helping to reduce disease problems. Finally, pruning keeps trees short so that the fruit can be reached. Makes sense. You want a stepladder to get up there? Nothing to lean on. Most people, especially when they first start, are intimidated by pruning the fruit tree and end up pruning too little. So don't be afraid to make large cuts if you feel they're needed. If you're worried, remember what you are trying to achieve when pruning. A tree with a balance between growth and production is easy to manage and open to light air. How interesting. When pruning, the first step is to clean up the tree and remove any dead, damaged, or diseased branches. And you guys can kind of spot those pretty easily. And if you're removing deceased branches, make sure you're pruning all the way back into healthy wood. For example, with a fire blight infected tree, make sure you're pruning at least 8 to 10 inches below any discolored bark. Any suckers that have grown should also be removed. When it comes to managing that tree size and shape, that's a big thing now, especially with so many gardens it seems like are really becoming very highly decorated. There are two types of pruning cuts. They're heading cuts and thinning cuts. Heading cuts are used to shorten and stiffen the branches as well as to cause branching. This is done by removing the end of the branch. When doing this, the terminal bud is removed, and these terminal buds prevent shoot development from buds below them. By removing these, new shoots will begin developing just below the cut's location. You're in business. Heading cuts result in a thicker, denser canopy, which can reduce light levels within the trees. Little shade tree action almost. Heading cuts should be used primarily for establishing branches in young trees. After that, use it sparingly. And then thinning cuts remove an entire shoot back to its point of origin. Unlike heading cuts, thinning cuts do not induce excessive vigorous regrowth. Thinning cuts open the tree's canopy and allow more sunlight to reach the interior of the tree. While pruning those trees, well, make sure to sanitize your pruners between trees to prevent the spread of the disease. I would never have thought about that. That makes total sense. You can use a 10% bleach solution, isopropyl alcohol, or sanitizing wipes to get those pruners cleaned up right before you go on to the next tree to make sure those diseases don't spread. And also make sure you're using a sharp tool. Sharp tools, well, come on, make cleaner cuts which heal faster than cuts made using dull tools. And when you're done pruning, just make sure you clean it up and remove the prune wood, especially if it's diseased, and properly dispose of it, because if you leave it there and it's a diseased, branch, 2 and 2 equals 4 in some days, and makes sense to me. How interesting, though. So many times I've told you guys my gardening story. I had like a great garden for 2 months, and then out of nowhere, just decided to die on me. It was overgrown. I couldn't stop it. I had the sunflower that was 8 feet or 9 feet tall and got ripped out of the ground by a thunderstorm, so I gave up. But I've been kind of looking back at it now that I'm starting to, grow up a little bit more. I'm not getting into as much trouble and need something to keep me occupied. I think I could do it. Maybe. We'll find out. But, I really like stories like this one. So, if you guys ever seen American, Antique Roadshow, love that show because, so many times all the older people bring something in that maybe their grandma or great-grandmother or great-grandfather gave them, mom or dad, and they just kind of wanted to see what it's worth, and then they get told it's worth tens of thousands of dollars, and their eyes kind of light up, and, life's good. Well, I'm never going to be that person. I always get the duds, like the Beanie Babies. For one day in my life, I truly thought I had like $1 million in Beanie Babies because of that, whole hoax that was going on the internet. Then I thought, oh, I have the Black Diamond Disney VHSs. $4. Anyway, I'm never going to have something as cool as this. A Harley-Davidson motorcycle dating from 1908 sold for a whopping $935,000, making it the most expensive bike ever sold at auction. This auction in Las Vegas said the motorcycle, known as the Strap Tank due to its nickel-plated steel bands that suspend the fuel and oil tanks from its frame, sold for $935,000 after fees in the late January auction. Wow. The website that tracks the auctions of vintage motorcycles said the sale represented the highest price ever paid for a motorcycle at auction. We marketed the bike well, and Harley is by far the most famous American motorcycle brand, so hey, we had a feeling it would do well in auction, but obviously you are surprised anytime you sell the most expensive bike ever. That's a quote from the manager of that auction house, Arnold, who is the manager, said surviving strap tank bikes are very rare, and the bike sold by the auction house was an especially unique find. This bike has many of its original parts, which makes it much more rare. He said the bike was found intact in a Wisconsin barn in 1941, and he kept it in his possession for the ensuing 66 years. The bike recently restored by Paul Freehill of Fort Wayne, Indiana, the auction house said. But I mean, how incredible is that? You're just sitting there in a barn one day. See, that's something I always wanted to do too. Do you guys want to do that, where you go and look at old barns and see what you can conjure up and see if you can convince them to let you take it? Because so many times I drive by barns, especially during all those soccer tournaments that we'd go to, all the way everywhere around the country, going to these soccer tournaments every other weekend. And you drive by seriously, it's a silly thing to say, but you drive by like hundreds of barns. And it's just, you always ask the question, I did, what's in there? I mean, there could be like a $10 million item in there or something, and we just keep driving by. I'm telling you, one day I'm going to stop at every barn that I missed. And we'll be just fine. So, I was trying to find something that was Valentine's Day eccentric, and I figured, let's start it off, and then we'll pick it up in between the guest interviews. I found a list of some unique ways that Valentine's Day is celebrated across the world. And we're going to start off with 10, okay? Just 10. And then in the 10 o'clock hour, I'll give you a different form of Valentine's Day. Now, bear with me here. We aren't going to get along with all of these different countries, ways they do things, but it's interesting. I wouldn't recommend doing, a lot of it, but let's start off with an easy one. In South Korea, they celebrate love on the 14th of every month of the year, but February and March are the biggest and most expensive. So they celebrate love on the 14th of every month of the year, but February and March are the biggest and most expensive. Valentine's Day sees women giving chocolate to men, and instead of returning the favor straight away, the men give the chocolate on the 14th of March, which in Korea is called White Day, and so that's a Korean tradition. So that is interesting. So the woman gives it in February. They got to wait a month for another holiday until they can get theirs. Where are you going? Until they can get theirs in return. That is interesting. What about this? In Norway, secret admirers send the objects of their desire funny little poems, and the only clue to their identity being a dot representing each letter of the individual's name. If the recipient guesses who the poem is from, they earn themselves an Easter egg on Easter. You got to wait 3 months for this reward. If she... I am not playing this in Norway. Now, if she's stumped, and let's say the woman, the significant other, whoever that's guessing the secret admirer, if she's stumped, well, the individual will reveal their identity, and the recipient of the love letter has to give them an egg on Easter. That is so bizarre. It's very fascinating, though. Okay, so in Estonia, it's what every admirer dreads hearing, especially on Valentine's. Let's be friends. But in Estonia, Valentine's Day is called, well, Friends Day. People exchange cards and gifts among friends with a cheery, hey, happy Friends Day, pal. And just what you want to hear from someone you've had your eye on for years. And you know what? I like that one. I think that one's neat. What about love spoons? Yeah, come on. Get your mind out of the gutter. The Welsh do Valentine's Day a bit early on the 25th of January, and they do it a little bit differently, too. Hear me out on this one. They give love spoons. The spoons are an age-old tradition where, the Welshmen would carefully carve these spoons and present them to the women they were interested in. These designs are carved with symbolic and often hidden clues. For example, the number of beads attached represent the number of children the man was expecting and is beloved to produce. How interesting. What about this? I love this. Not so long ago, a French single people celebrated Valentine's Day by calling out to each other other single people across the road until they were all paired off. Well, that's simple enough. But if the men didn't like their match, they would simply leave the woman for another man to call. Oh, there you go. The tradition often left women unmatched. However, this is, by the way, all from a publication. However, according to the rules of tradition, they could get together, light a bonfire, and toss pictures and belongings of the guys who rejected them. Sadly, the government banned it. Oh, come on. That's too good to ban. Oh, that's too good to ban. What about Slovenia? Valentine's Day coincides with the beginning of spring celebration. The first bird they will see supposedly tells them what their future husband will be like. And in the Middle East, in Iraq, Kurds celebrate Valentine's Day with the Feast of Love, decorating red apples to represent the original love story of Adam and Eve. And it diverges from the biblical tale that an apple is believed to bring prosperity and love, not the end of earthly paradise. So that's a pause. We got a lot more to get to, but we have some guests to talk to. A quick break. We'll come right back on this Valentine's Day in downtown Alton.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices, located on Humbert Road in Alton.
When it comes to the C-Force line of ATVs, there truly is a seat for every behind. Whether you want to get started with the easy-to-ride C-Force 400 or ride with the big boys on the C-Force 800 XC, you'll find the right machine for you and your wallet.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
To be mad with anyone. It's not unusual to be sad with anyone.
It is 9:31 on this 14th day of February. It is, a good time to talk about getting ready for spring. With spring, a lot of you guys are moving and things are happening. And why don't you just call Sunrise Moving right across from me? How are you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic,
I
man.
just want to apologize right off the bat. I may or may not have sent them on a Lewis and Clark expedition today, but you got to tour the city a bit,
Yeah, sure did. So better late than never, right?
Better late than never, but I sent you down to Godfrey Road. That's awesome. It's awesome, but it's not, and I apologize.
The good news is that's where our building's located, is just right on Godfrey Road.
Well, there you go.
It wasn't too much of a detour.
Oh, good. Well, that's awesome. So, guys, just thank you for hanging out with me today. I know that you guys are busy. I didn't realize you're already up to, 40 employees?
Yeah, right around 40 employees. So going on our 3rd year of business and, just moving right along pretty much.
So how did the business develop? Was this something that you always had an idea for? Or was it just something you stumbled upon?
So it's, it's actually pretty interesting how it worked out. So I have a brother who's a software engineer down in Texas, and he was moving and he got on U-Haul, and so he rented the truck pretty much. And then he hired moving labor on U-Haul, and he paid these guys like $100 an hour. And he was telling us about his experience, and he's like, "Hey, man, this was like way more cost effective than like your traditional move where somebody would come with the truck, then the movers, and everything's full service." So he told us about that, and then he told me and my brother Josh, who's not here today, but
where are you, Josh?
Yeah, come on, man.
He had better things.
But I got my business partner James here.
Yeah, James, thank you for stepping up to the plate.
No problem.
So he told us about that, and I was selling insurance at the time for State Farm, and then I went and worked for American Family for a little bit. So, and I enjoyed sales a lot, and I was pretty successful in it and everything. But it was just kind of getting to the point to where I needed to fulfill a better purpose. Yeah. For me personally, and had a lot of experience with moving already. So when me and my brother and James first started the business, we booked our first job, and then pretty much the rest was history. We just
kind of snowballed from there.
Did it really?
You kind of in over your head. You don't really know what you're doing at first, and then you just job after job after job. You get a long distance job for $4,000 or $5,000, and it just kind of brought on some more help, more guys, and then all of a sudden we've got 30 employees, an office building, a couple trucks.
Right on, guys.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So if somebody wants to use your services and they are moving long distance, what's that coverage area look like? Is it where just they need to
anywhere
go?
in the lower 48?
Yep, exactly.
Be damn, I like that.
We're not going to Alaska or Hawaii.
All right,
anything,
they don't have any type of ice ship yet.
Can't take you to Italy or anything. One day, though.
One day. I like it. What's the farthest you guys have moved?
Well, Probably California.
Yeah,
San
we actually
Francisco.
have a over-the-road job going out right now. It's over in Fortuna, California. It's kind of unorthodox because we're actually starting down there. So we're loading them up down there and then bringing them to Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Wow.
So that was a lead that we had actually got from a realtor, and she had recommended us. But a little bit of a unique situation on that one. So it's a 38-hour drive.
I couldn't even imagine. And doing just a little bit of service work that I've done in the past, no job's ever, the same or anything like that. But also it seems like the simple ones are always the ones that get you into trouble. You think that, oh, no, we got it covered. A couple of guys, or maybe with, the, sewer business. You think, I'll run a middle machine out there. We'll be out in an hour. Have there been a lot of those or any type of learning curves that are interesting?
A customer will call you and say, hey, I got this small gun safe. Can you guys come move it? Me and my uncle moved it down there. We show up. It's about 1,000 pounds. We need specialized equipment and 4 guys to get it. But we're always pretty much ready for any kind of curveballs like that. So we're pretty flexible.
Right on. So how early on did you guys feel things kind of moving? Was it just like a quick snowball where it's like, man, you look up and it's all of a sudden all this happening?
We started in the summertime, I think March, April. So
it's probably like early.
It was. You can imagine moving is incredibly busy in the summertime. So it was pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was pretty immediate.
So in the wintertime, what do you guys kind of see job-wise? Or is it kind of the same all year round, or they're kind of change it up as the seasons come?
I would say summer and winter is kind of like night and day. Winter, it's still pretty steady, but summertime's just a whole
another ball game.
The kids are out of school. Everyone's trying to relocate. People are moving out of town for work, and it's just
typically in the wintertime you got guys begging you for work, and then in the summertime they're begging you for days off. So
right,
that's usually how it goes.
So when someone calls you, what's the first step to kind of getting that process started, that moving process?
Yep. So we offered 2 different types of move. We have a full service move and a self-service move. So they would reach out to us, and we'd go through the self-service option with them, which is, hey, if you want to do this the most cost-efficient way, just rent a U-Haul yourself and just hire us for the labor. We'll come out there in our personal vehicles. We'll load it for you, follow to your unload destination, then unload it for you. And that's going to be the most cost-efficient way because you're not paying that big travel charge like most full-service moving companies. Like, other moving companies could have a travel charge from anywhere to $250 to $300 versus you getting a U-Haul. It's only going to cost you $70, $80 for a day. All you got to do is drive, and we load it for you.
And some people, they're not comfortable driving a truck, or they just they want the convenience of not dealing with anything. So we can come out with a truck as well for an additional charge.
And that would be the full service option, all the way from specialty items, gun safes, pianos, packing up your house. Loading, taking you across, state lines, any of that stuff. So
that is incredible. Oh, the only thing I could think of right when you said, people don't like driving trucks, is I always think of the Family Guy where the guy's moving to a new town and running everybody off the road. That's why I'd call you guys. Just say full service me up. I'm not even taking
sometimes people are like, we'll get the truck. Don't worry about it. And they back it into their garage or
their mailbox,
take out a tree or something. And we're like, next time we'll just bring the truck, So.
Right. So how, just to transition a little bit here, how soon has it been, how early has it been since you guys have been on Godfrey Road?
This was a pretty recent change, So originally we predominantly work over in like St. Louis, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, over in that area. So just recently here, we had acquired a building over here in Godfrey Road. Just obviously, property value is a little lower over here than somewhere like St. Charles County. So
that's for sure.
You can find some pretty sweet deals, and we got a nice office building. We needed a space for our trucks, and we're also a authorized U-Haul dealer.
Oh,
so we rent U-Haul trucks out to people as well.
I love it. So if someone wanted to, let's say, do the self-service a little bit, could they get the U-Haul from you?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Come on, that's a chef's kiss. What are you talking about? Done. That's awesome. And I mean, was that a goal for you guys? Because this seems like you put it all together, where it's every bit of the puzzle.
Well, it's kind of like I said, it just kind of goes hand in hand. We provide moving. It just makes sense to provide trucks as well. So it just kind of happened that way.
Yeah, everything was. When we first started this business, we didn't really have a game plan. You know what I mean? So we kind of learned everything as we evolved.
There was no grand strategy. It just kind of like
I love it.
one stone to the next.
So.
That's great. So did you guys always work together in some way before the company?
Well, we've known each other since we were, 8 or 9 years old. So, we've both been moving furniture pretty much. Caleb's kind of bounced around, but pretty much our whole adult life. So
Really?
Yeah. So
That's awesome. So, I mean, when people call you guys, that's what I think's great. And that's why when I was looking at your website, I was kind of wanting to do a little bit more research because you always see like the Facebook pages pop out with people going, oh, I'm going to have a moving company. And it's like, well, you got a pickup truck with 3 flat tires. I don't know if you're going to be moving much for me. And then I look here. I mean, seriously, it's a one-stop shop. You guys have it figured out for anybody's needs. And I guess the question is, what's your plan here in the Godfrey area? Is it just kind of to use this as a central hub and then expand outward, or how's that work?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say just we obviously love to do more work over here for just people in the Madison County area in general. We cover a lot of like Scott Air Force Base, like O'Fallon, Illinois, Belleville, Illinois, that whole area quite a bit, but we don't really have as much traffic over here. So, I mean, obviously with us having a building here, it would just make our guys smile, if they could do a local job here in Godfrey. So
that's your call to action.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the text line every once in a while. Listeners text line, you got to give them that push. But I think it's great. And I want to ask you guys, we have a couple of minutes left. We're getting ready to talk to home instead. What's the best part of the job for you guys? Is it the logistical side? Is it the actual, physical side of it? What's the best part?
I would say, the best part of the job is just being able to, help the community because, not everybody is obviously strong enough to, press their arm wire up above their shoulders, going up a flight of stairs. Being able to fulfill a need for people is really satisfying and also provide employment for people as well. I think that's the best thing about being an entrepreneur. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you thinking? What's the best part of the job?
Just to add on to what he said, we get a lot of calls from customers who say, hey, I hired so-and-so. They were supposed to come out today. They never showed up. They're not answering their phone. They blocked my number. So we also do a lot of like same-day moves like that. And it's pretty satisfying to kind of come in for them and help them out a lot because, they're kind of desperate. They can't move their own stuff if, they're elderly or...
That's where my brain went to because not a lot of people have the grandson or granddaughter that is able to do a lot of that.
Pizza and beer doesn't go as far as it used to.
That's true.
So, and then you get slip disc and all that stuff.
Well, that's true.
We had a guy tell us the other day, him and his buddy tried to move a gun safe, a 700-pound gun safe themselves, and
he snapped his ankle in half. Had to go to the hospital. They fell down the stairs with it. So
oh my god,
he's
lucky. That's all that happened.
Yeah, so it's not really worth the injury.
If you don't do it every day, I wouldn't recommend trying to do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like me. I know I'm not an electrician, so I'm not going to go play with wires.
Exactly. But I will recommend that you call Sunrise Moving. We got it done. I am so sorry I took you down the road, but I'm glad you guys made it in. And
absolutely.
I'm really impressed. I hope we all use this service because it's a one-stop shop. And right in our own hometown on Godfrey Road. So what are we doing here, folks? Get ready for summer. Sunrise Moving, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Thank
9:43 on this Valentine's Day. We're coming back with Home Instead in just about a minute or two.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices, located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Inspiring her dreams and helping her pursue them. That's why we protect your house and your car, because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. American Family Insurance.
Through the blind, my baby loving cause the sun to shine. She my sweet little thing, she my pride and joy, she my sweet little baby.
Whoa, here we go, whirlwind. 9:46, where's the time gone? You're telling me, we're almost out of this hour. Yeah, we're getting there together. We're going to be talking to Nikki with Home Instead, a fantastic company. Because, they're having a hiring event this week, and one of their care professionals is going to join us and talk about it. Home Instead's a fantastic program and a fantastic organization that we all should hear a little bit more about. And I'm very much looking forward to talking with Nikki and that representative here in just a few short minutes. I don't understand it. It seems like for a while, it's like everyone is hiring, then, it kind of dives off a little bit, then everyone starts hiring again, but there's always a need for caregivers and care professionals with Home Instead, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing about all of the really, really cool stuff that could be at our disposal, if we're hired or if we have a loved one. And I wanted to tell you guys about kind of some developing news. The River Dragons are going to start using Rapsodo Stadium, a new in-game system that provides live data for baseball teams this season. As part of the partnership, the Prospect League will be implementing that system in all 17 of its stadiums, including Lloyd Hopkins Field. It's an optical dual stereo camera system that uses 4 cameras to track 100% of the ball flight. It produces professional-grade data, allowing teams to compare players' data recorded during games, and this system allows players, coaches, and scouts to analyze in-game data and outcomes to see cause and effect. How cool is that? I mean, I'm really looking forward to the River Dragons season coming up. They are developing, and love talking to Dallas and seeing what gets developed. So you'll see that story coming out in just a few hours or so about that new Rapsodo Stadium technology being implemented. And I'm here for it. I think it's going to be really cool. So as we're waiting on Home Instead, let's finish up our Valentine's Day weird traditions, So we had to push off Home Instead a couple more minutes, but we're going to talk about their hiring event in just a minute or two. But, I was just telling you guys, if you're just tuning in, we went through, and you might have to watch it on the replay if you're interested, about some of the unique ways that other countries celebrate Valentine's Day. And you're going, CJ, come on. You're trying to tell me that there's a bunch of different traditions? Yeah. And I love this one. So we're on number 8. We got 3 more to go, and we're going to take you to Germany. In Germany, I am not reading it. I am not reading it. Gingerbread just isn't for Christmas. Nothing says. And in Germany, they make giant heart-shaped ginger biscuits. The biscuits come in a ribbon attached to it, so it can be draped around the shoulders of the lucky recipient. So would you wear one of those biscuit necklaces? That's for another time, because we're joined by Home Instead. And a quick transition as we're talking about a really important hiring event for becoming a care professional with Home Instead. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us, CJ.
So take us through. Who do we have on the line? We have Nikki, and is there another individual?
Hi, I'm Morgan.
Hey, Morgan, how are we doing this morning? You guys staying dry up in the Edwardsville area? Is that where you're at?
We're trying.
You know, I'm trying too, but I wasn't successful. My hairspray's already fallen out, and we got some issues. We got to get a tune-up. But I am really impressed with Home Instead. I think it's a really great company. I was doing a little bit of research on this, and you guys are having a really important hiring event for your care professionals this week, correct?
Yes, we are. We already kicked it off, had some interviews already starting this morning at 9 o'clock, and we'll be here till 1 o'clock with open interviews, and then tomorrow from 3 to 6. So we invite people to come on down and learn a little bit more about our home care agency and come see the fun culture that we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could, just in a brief elevator pitch, give us a little bit of an overview of what Home Instead is all about and what you're looking for in your potential employees.
So Home Instead is a little bit different, we like to say, than other home care agencies, because to us it is personal, and that's a part of our tagline. But to me, being the franchise owner, I'm definitely there involved in the client's day-to-day operations along with our care pros. They are our number one asset, and so here we want to make sure that they're treated with the utmost respect and making sure they're having a good time while they're with the client. So we do everything from companionship all the way up to hospice care. We work really well with other home care agencies and hospice agencies to offer that supportive piece when someone is working along with their journey. So Morgan is here today to tell us a little bit about her experience as a care pro. She's been with us for over a year and is now in a lead care position. So she's mentoring and helping other care pros, and we're just really excited to have her here for our hiring day as well.
Absolutely. And Morgan, thank you so much, too, for giving us a little bit more insight. Right off the bat, just before I ask you a little bit about the ins and outs, how has this year been with Home Instead?
This year has been great. I've been able to meet so many different people and learn stories. It's exactly what I've been wanting to do. I love to be with people and take care of people. So it's been great.
And for prospective care professionals that are interested in maybe joining the team over there, what is the first thing that you look for that one of your personality traits to make you one of the standout care professionals with Home Instead?
Just somebody that's outgoing and personable. Anybody that's going to come in and change a client's life and how they view everything, and just be there for them, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And, what are some of the ins and outs of your day-to-day? Because I can only imagine no day's the same.
No, it's not. It ranges. I can be with somebody and just sit and visit with them and learn about their life. And then the next day I can be with somebody, like Nikki said, just in hospice care, taking care of them, make sure they're comfortable and that family is comfortable.
And in terms of, starting out, because I'm sure, a few folks will be in the same boat you were, a year ago when you're first starting the Home Instead journey. What were some of the things that you noticed right away in terms of, maybe just the overall company structure that maybe could put a little bit of perspective into, an interested individual's mind?
It's super fun here. Nikki and Candace always make it interesting for us and making sure that we're comfortable. So it's just really different, making sure just that everybody's happy to be here.
Absolutely. And I got to ask you, what is the most rewarding part of being a care professional? I mean, there's so many elements of what you guys do, and it's so very important. And so many of us know individuals, families that, need, home health care, home care, and caregivers. What's that most rewarding part?
Just knowing that I've helped somebody, maybe even change their life.
That's awesome. And I now, were you always in the medical field or healthcare field?
Yes, that's where I started right out of healthcare. My grandma, she's a brain aneurysm survivor, and I helped her a little bit just doing little things, and I was able to start out a different job that helped me get my CNA license, and I ended up here, and it's been great.
That's incredible. And Nikki, if I could get you to pop back in for a spell or two, I got to ask you. It seems like care professionals like Morgan. I mean, just to have some standout representatives of the Homestead brand that are really doing great work. I mean, that's got to put a smile on your face and really be something to be proud of.
We are so proud of Morgan and all of our care pros. That's one of the things that we look for when we do the interviews is why they're here, and they have a heart for taking care of others. And Morgan has just shown that every time that she's with a client, with another team member, and so we're excited to promote her to the lead care professional position where she can help mentor others and show them the difference they can make in our clients' lives. So we are truly blessed to have her, and like I said, the other care pros. This Friday, we're going to be honoring them for National Caregiver Day. We've got some special gifts for them to stop by and get. And if they can't stop by, we're going to do some special deliveries. So we just feel like, again, we not only do we try to make our clients' experience special, but we also have our care pros right there at the top of the list.
Well, and that is very, very important as well, is to make sure that you're showing your appreciation for the work they're doing too. I mean, that is really cool, and it seems like for anyone that's listening that's a little bit interested to have representation in a company that they shout out their employees and recognize that is really, really cool. And Morgan, as the lead care pro now with Home Instead, what are some of the things that you look to kind of advise on? Kind of right off the bat, I know that, there's kind of a wide range of answers you could give me with that question. I gave you a little bit of a broad one, but I just am kind of curious about that because you seem perfect for this position.
It's mostly just making sure, like helping other caregivers with any other clients that need help and making sure that they're comfortable with their skills and everything.
Yeah. And in terms of the events coming up today that are going on, like today is till 1 o'clock and tomorrow 3 to 6. What are how is the best way to go across with getting stopping by and getting an interview? Is it just stopping in? Do we have to fill something out online? What's the best way?
They can stop in and we can do the in-person interview, get them set up with an application when they're here. So there's no need to do anything ahead of time. Just come on in and meet with us, and we can have the opportunity to meet in person with you and give us, give you a little insight of Home Instead. So nothing to be done ahead of time. Just come on down.
Absolutely, and we have a couple of minutes left, so I will. I'm going to leave this question for both of you, if it's okay. If you guys could describe your, Homestead experience. I know Nikki is going to be a little bit different as franchise owner, but if you could, your guys' Homestead experience and why you guys have, chosen the path you're on. What's that experience been like with Homestead? Just to kind of wrap up and really cement the reasons, really, I think people should look to becoming a care professional, at least just checking out what you guys have to offer.
You want to go, Morgan? Sure. I just love it here. I've been able to meet so many different people and learn everybody's stories, and it's just been great. I love to learn about everybody's lives, and that's just what I get to do every day and help them out in the process.
And not before Nikki jumps back in, I just want to say, to me would be so just rewarding in itself, just to hear some of those stories, to build those relationships. And that's something that I've heard, not even just from talking with you, but from other individuals that have utilized the service of Home Instead, that's really there with the team. And Nikki, I'll let you wrap up with your, the best part of being with Home Instead.
Yeah, well, I'll just piggyback on Morgan. I think that's one of the things. I have a little tablet that I write down special stories or just even sayings that we have heard from our clients, and we've had a Holocaust survivor. We've had several people here that have been retired professors from SIUE that we've got students that are going to nursing school that are care pros with us. So we've got a variety of care pros and clients. And as they build those relationships, I think it just solidifies how important our seniors are. And we just have to make sure we value every minute we have with them. They can always teach us something. And then again, we can teach them to be able to be, we're going to respect them preserve their dignity, but allow us to be able to come in there and build those solid relationships so they can trust us to do those most intimate things like personal care and bathing and dressing. That's not easy, and those are the things where we try to set our care pros up for success, to be able to get in there and just treat them like family. And that's the thing what we try to do for our care pros here. They are like family to us. When they come for training, we say, welcome to the Homestead family. So we want to invite more people to our family, whether they're a client or a care pro, and just really make a difference in their lives.
That is really phenomenal, and I could not be more happy to have you guys on today to talk about this, and I really appreciate it. Nikki, one more time, when are the times today and tomorrow for anyone that's interested in learning more about becoming a care pro over at Homestead?
Okay, so today is from 9 to 1 p.m., and tomorrow, Wednesday, the 15th, is going to be from 3 to 6.
And then your guys' address is 105 South Point Drive, Suite B, correct?
Yes, and we've got purple balloons out flying in the rain today, so hopefully people will be able to see them the next day or two.
I love it. Well, it is 10 o'clock right now in downtown Alton. We got to take a quick break to get to top of the hour news. Guys, thank you so much for coming on and talking about the awesome services you provide, that we could become a part of a really amazing team.
Thank you, CJ. We really appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
You too. It's 10 o'clock in downtown Alton. A quick break, top of the hour news next.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
If you like to get out and go with a friend riding shotgun, the Z-Force line of sports side-by-sides are the perfect machines for you. Whether exploring the backcountry or racing down the trails, these beasts flat out give you more without having to pay for more. Life's too short to stay home.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
It is 10:05 as we are coming back in the 10 o'clock hour on this Valentine's Day, Tuesday in the heart of the Riverbend, and take a brief look at top of the hour news before we move on down the line. A Metro East Sanitary District Commissioner is on the county board agenda this Wednesday for removal. Illinois law allows me to both appoint and remove MESD commissioners with county board approval. That's the quote from Madison County Board Chairman Kurt Prenzler. This is not personal, Prenzler said. This is all about policy. It's high time the compensation for MESD commissioners comes into line with Madison County board members. We'll keep you updated as details emerge from that Wednesday meeting. Also in the news in Edwardsville School District 7 will hold an informational night and open house at Lincoln Middle School at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday for community members to learn more about how the zero tax rate change bond, if passed, would address needed renovations for a partial rebuild of the aging school. Edwardsville School District 7 will have a $100 million zero tax rate change bond referendum on the April 4th ballot. If approved by voters, the district would be able to issue $100 million in bonds to address essential safety and security upgrades, identified facility needs, and other identified critical maintenance. While some schools require more repair and renovation than others, every student attending school in our district will improve from improved school buildings. That's a quote from the press release. The informational night will begin with a presentation in the auditorium that will include an architectural plan for the Lincoln School. District leaders, staff, and students will be on hand to give tours of the building. Also in the news, the Sierra Club, and alongside the Alton YWCA, Milton School Gardens, and Hampton Gardens, is going to host two seed swapping events. The first one will be held at Milton Schoolhouse in Alton on Saturday, February the 25th from 12 to 2 p.m. To register for the seed swap at Milton Schoolhouse, visit the Facebook page. And the second seed swap will be held at the Alton YWCA on Saturday, March the 4th from 12 to 2 p.m. To register for that event as well, all you have to do is find the Sierra Club Facebook page and click on the event page link. And that's a look at what's happening locally at 10:08 on this 14th day of February. A quick newscast because we got some more guests coming up. Kristen Burns joins us in just a few short minutes because she's running for Woods River City Council. We're going to get her campaign, her background, her platform, if elected. And then coming up at 10:35, we're talking to modified autos. So sit back, relax. A great 10 o'clock hour comes your way next in the heart of the Riverbend.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Lennox.
So do I. Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Lennox products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Are you in the market for new flooring? Look no further than Ed Eagles Discount Carpet. Ed Eagles has an enormous inventory of carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood with professionally trained carpet installers that will treat your project and home with the utmost respect. Lowe's and Home Depot can't even compare. Our discounted prices regularly beat out the big box stores. Stop by today to have your new flooring ready for the holiday season. Ed Eagles, quality carpet, tile, vinyl, and hardwood at discount prices. Located on Humbert Road in Alton.
Inspiring her dreams and helping her pursue them. That's why we protect your house and your car, because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. American Family Insurance.
Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows.
I know. We don't have Home Instead on here, but I didn't have any internet for like 30 seconds, so bear with me here. We are fixing this problem really quickly. Kristen Burns is throwing her hat in the ring and has done so for the Woods River City Council elections that are going to be taking place on the 4th of April. Kristen, how are we doing today?
Really good. Thanks for having me.
So, right off the bat, as I, fix some of the stuff in post-production, as I tell everyone, give me a little bit of a background on who you are. I know that you've worked within the city for a couple of, years now, right?
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't actually work for the city at all.
So you were just whenever I communicated with you on certain events, take us through. So what was that responsibility?
So a little bit of my background.
Yeah.
I have always been into marketing. I went to school for marketing and design. So my family owns a business in Wood River. So I work for my parents as well. But I've always been involved. I love to volunteer. Wherever I've been, I've always volunteered in the community because I think that that's important.
Absolutely.
As I grew up, my parents were always really hard on respect. And if you don't like something, try to change it. Try to make it the way that you want it to be. And so I've kind of taken that to heart. And I've always volunteered with tons of organizations. I actually went into the nonprofit realm as a marketing consultant and also just marketing here in Alton. I was the marketing program director for the Y here in Alton for quite a few years. Arthritis Foundation, lots of different places. So when my husband and I moved to Wood River, he's a police officer in Wood River. And I decided, I want to make my community better. And so I started going to city council meetings and seeing where I can volunteer. And it kind of turned into something. Mayor Stockup just came to me and he's like, hey, do you think you could help us just market the city, show the good in the city, and help us? And I absolutely. So I was able to help with the new website, getting an e-newsletter, getting all of these things so that the city just shows all of the good happening.
Well, and too, I that's why I was asking, because the way that we've communicated in the past, it was for all the city events going on, like the chili cook-off and all these different things that you guys were kind of developing and implementing. And that's kind of why right off the bat I thought, oh, she's a city, but you aren't.
No, actually the chili cook-off was with Wood River Economic Development, which is a total nonprofit away from the city. But the city was of course,
Right.
very helpful. And we were able to put that back on, which was an amazing event. We had so much fun.
Well, and I'm glad I asked that question because I think that might be something that voters need to know about too, is that is two separate entities. That's a non-for-profit
Absolutely.
that you're, volunteering your time and helping out, and very, very incredible. So I got to ask you, I mean, things were going well, it doesn't seem like there was too much hectic craziness going on, and you decided to throw your hat in the ring. Why so?
Well, it's always crazy.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Everything is always crazy. To be honest, I have 3 teenagers.
Okay.
And it's important to me to have them have a sense of community, have that hometown feel. And I feel like so many people don't have that. And so I'm like, now's the time. Right. Let's do this. Let's try to make people have pride in their community. Let's continue that. Let's get the youth involved. Let's get more people involved for the betterment of the city.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I want my kids, I want them to spread their wings and go places and do the great things, but I also want them to come home and it be home. And that's important to me.
Well, and I've always been in agreement with the quote that children are the greatest investment you can make because if you have a lasting impact, a lasting imprint, well, 9 times out of 10 they're going to come back and support the community when they're in a position to do so. And it's a great point to be made. Now, how has the family been since this decision? I got to ask because this is where I always like to have a little bit of fun with all the candidates I talk to. Have they been supportive? Was it at first going, Mom, what are you doing here?
They've been awesome.
No kid, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids are pretty great. So they have always been very supportive. And my son, I always say he's mama's boy, but he is like 100%. What do you need, Mom? What can we do? So, and my husband's been great. My parents have been amazing because this takes time out of me being at the shop, helping out. And I couldn't do it without them and their support.
Well, and so I got to ask you this because I'm it's so weird because I get to ask about these things now instead of just, kind of knocking on the doors and doing all that. But how has that been? So you're going and you're meeting with some of the constituents, you're, talking. What are some of the concerns that you're hearing from the voters, from the constituents in Wood River?
I'm hearing all sorts of things. Like there's so many different things that people are thinking about and talking about. A big thing is the rec center. And everybody wants to talk about the rec center, and I'm more than happy to. There's a lot of projects that are happening, and the 1% sales tax is helping towards all of those projects. So we've got sidewalks getting fixed and repaired, State Street sewer separation that's being done. It's getting started. I think the city just got more money to be able to start that earlier. Yeah. But to me, where I live, I'm in a floodplain.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
So they are doing a 9th Street detention pond that will take me and 200 other houses out of the floodplain. So to be honest, I wanted that done first. Put the shovels in the ground. Let's get it going.
Right.
So it's working. They're going. They're moving. I think all the engineering or something is done with it. They give us updates on it. So I'm excited to see that happening. But, the rec center, it's being built. It's like the walls are up. It's huge.
Right.
So I'm excited for it to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really cool. I'm going to support it because it's happening. And the biggest way that I'm going to support it is economic growth.
Right.
I'm with economic development. That's the nonprofit that I work with a lot. And that's what I love to do.
Right. And so, and like I've told people before, I've said this on the air, I'll set it to you off the air, I really don't have a stake in this game. I like to get the information for the people of Wood River that are going to be voting in this. Why do you think the rec center became such a hot topic issue? Because it seems like right off the bat it was kind of getting a little, it was a little bit contentious, and then it seemed like in the summer it kind of blew, into this kind of big debate.
I don't really.
Okay.
Not really sure.
Right.
I know that there were other projects that people wanted started first. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat that I'm at, is that there were a lot of programs or things that should have been started.
Yeah.
But I also know that I think the city got a grant or something to start that, and there was a time crunch or something. But I'm going to support it.
Yeah.
And I what I really like to do is just keep growing the community. Like, I've been working with economic development, and I'm talking to people daily that are wanting to come into Wood River, that are wanting to bring their businesses to Wood River. And we're just looking for places for them because we've kind of got a boom with new businesses and people interested. And to be honest, maybe the rec center is part of that, because I've talked to developers that have said, hey, we see that your city is putting a $10 million project for their citizens in the forefront, and that's important. And developers see that because they know that you're investing in your community, so they want to invest in their community.
Absolutely. And that's kind of segueing into my next question, because I know that whenever you do, go and you knock on the doors, you're handing out some material and telling people a little bit about who you are. Sometimes I think that, potential voters, prospective ones, don't really get the full they don't really understand the full picture of what's going on. They, kind of have this, the stereotype in their head, like, oh, nothing's happening, there's no businesses. Is that happened to you yet on your journey where someone goes, oh no, we're dying out, there's no businesses coming in, that you can kind of help educate on some of the growth?
Yeah, a few people. I started the What's Up Downtown meeting, and we do that quarterly, and that basically gives people the opportunity to come in, talk to business owners that are in the downtown area. If developers are there, if new businesses are coming in, they get to talk to residents and just say, hey, this is the special we have going on, this is what's happening, so that people know that there's a drive there and things are moving forward. But there's so much happening in all of Wood River. We have development stuff everywhere. The east side, there's things coming in. It's everywhere.
Right.
So I really want people to know that downtown is coming back. And so is East End. So is the area around Walmart. There's so much growth that's happening that people aren't seeing because it's all in the infant stage.
Right.
So it's happening.
And now this is something, too, that I always like to ask, and I think I forgot to ask it in my last interview, and I'm kicking myself for it. But, because I like to ask everyone the same question. Whoever's running for office gets the same four, because that way there's no bias, there's no leading in. And one thing that I hear time and time again is that, people just lost faith in the election process, not because of, anything that happens nationally, but just because they feel like maybe locally their voices weren't being heard for a very long time. And my question is, if you're elected while you're running, what are you going to do to ensure that those voices that kind of feel like they've been neglected, that are kind of, not really left out, but, maybe not as included or incorporated as they'd like to be? How are you going to kind of bridge that gap?
Well, if I'm a city council member, I want people to be very open with me. Come talk to me, call me, email me, whatever. I'm very open to conversation to anybody. And that's what I tell people as I'm walking and talking to people. Talk to me. I'll talk to you about whatever you want. Let's have a conversation, because that's important to me.
Right.
And another important thing to me is volunteerism. I want people to volunteer in their community. But some people, they don't want to pick up trash.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Right. Like there's not very many people that want to. But maybe you love to paint and you could help a neighbor paint their house. Or maybe you, I don't know, want something big. I want to hear from the people, because I want to be able to have the city give people opportunities to volunteer for things they like.
Absolutely.
So the more things that you can volunteer for, the better your community will be.
Absolutely. And it kind of segues in. So we kind of tease that a little bit. So what's the platform here? So as you're running on, obviously, volunteerism in that community, being in the thick of it, but if you're elected on April 4th, what's day one, what's the big thing that you're going to tackle?
Growth is my biggest thing. My family has a small business in town.
Yeah.
They've been there for 40-something years.
Wow.
It's been there a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That my parents have owned it 20-something years, but I worked for the previous owners. So that was like my first real taste of Wood River and growth. I'm like, I can't explain it better. I'm going to continue with my economic growth.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue with possible incentives for people to come to Wood River. I want to be able to have the city work with the nonprofit to be able to have entrepreneurs have business workshops, have different things that they need, have city people come in and talk to them so that they know what they need to start a business in Wood River. Because the more growth and the more businesses that we have in Wood River, the more taxes come into Wood River, and the better the community can be.
Absolutely. And you know, I mean, what I like, and just with every candidate so far that we've had on, there's no matter if you're in agreement on certain things or not, there's still a concise message that you guys have. It's not, oh, I'm just running because, might as well throw the hat in the ring. We'll see what sticks. I mean, you guys really have a mission here, and I think that's important. And no matter what way the voters decide, I mean, they're going to get some, an individual that hopefully, really has that mission and they're going. And I think it's awesome that you're so, like I said, both interviews so far, mission is there. It might not be what we all agree with, but it's still a mission nonetheless. And that's kind of what a lot of politicians keep forgetting about today. They have to have a plan, they just get in there. But I got to ask you, was political journey something that you really kind of had the forefront in your mind, or is that something that's kind of happened?
It's been there.
It has? Okay.
Yeah, it's been there. As I've said, I've always volunteered, and I love volunteering. I volunteer for the bike and pedestrian plan, and oh my.
That's a way to break the ice.
There you go.
All righty.
But I work with the bike and pedestrian plan that has just been finished.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the comprehensive plan. Like, I want to be involved with the planning of the city.
Well, and let me ask you this. What's one of the most impactful projects, the programs that you've been a part of in your timeline, in your tenure that you're going to hold the most, pride on for the longest? What project?
Oh, gosh.
This is where I get to 60 minutes now,
Kristen.
Kristen.
That's a hard question. Yeah, that's a hard question. I've worked on a lot of projects. They've given me the opportunity, and I probably was kind of a pain in the rear end because I wanted to be involved.
Right.
So, and I'll push because I want to be involved. I think the bike and pedestrian plan is kind of near and dear to me. I'm a cyclist.
Oh, are you really?
I am.
Really cool.
So that's kind of one of my big ones. And working with Heartland Conservancy to work with that. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. And just the way that they brought it to us and brought it to the community, it's great.
Well, and it truly seems like, and like I said, not patronizing you, just kind of going based off this conversation, it really seems like you have had at least a contact or communication with a lot of, the individuals and organizations that work within the city, to begin with a lot of your nonprofit. Is that kind of the case? What are some of the things that you've learned just in that, time period of helping, organize things, with organizing programs, with developing them that are going to help you for that, position if elected on April 4th?
Oh, gosh. I've learned so much, but I think the biggest thing with it, I've been able to talk to so many residents. I've been able to make relationships with these people to really hear what they want and really be able to move our city forward. And there's so many cool things that can happen. And I'm kind of like the, the sunshine in the room, because I want all of the good to be seen, because there's so much happening. And with the bike and pedestrian plan, we are going to be able to make our community so much better, just walkable and just ADA compliant, all of those things that are so important to have that hometown feel. Yeah. When I was a kid, I grew up with literally the best neighbors on the planet. And my best friend, still to this day, he and I would ride our bikes everywhere. I want that for the kids. I want these kids to feel comfortable and be able to see all of these different bike trails and bike lanes that they can ride on and feel safe, and their parents feel safe that they're able to get to the different locations that they want to get to. They need to ride to the park? Cool. They need to ride to school? Great. I want them to have that and be able to see that, and that's a big thing for me.
Absolutely. Well, Kristen, thank you so much for your time, and if you do win, just like I told Bill, if you guys win on April 4th, well, April 5th, you better be calling me back so we can get some insight.
All right, we'll do.
1028 here in the heart of the Riverbend. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be talking to Modified Auto, hearing about their great services. They have an awesome location over at Eastgate. All that and more comes your way next right after this.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Get ready to fit a whole lot more into your day. Introducing the all-new U-Force 1000. It's the talk of the industry, and for good reason. It starts with the all-new 1000cc engine, 79 horsepower, liquid-cooled. Drivetrain, CB Tech, as durable as it gets under heavy loads. The U-Force 1000. Everything you need to ride without compromise.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
It's the head dead yet. And all the boys in the newsroom gotta run and bet. Get the widow on the set.
Where have you been? It's 10:31 on this Valentine's Tuesday, downtown out in the heart of the Riverbend. I'm having a day, Sean. Sean Fowler, Modified Auto, hanging out with me today and watching me just crash and burn. No pun intended.
What's happening, man?
Oh, man. All I know is that I think it's the day. You know, I woke up, I looked outside and went, I'll be damned. This is the day. This is the perfect CJ day off day, you know, and I got to get up and do the show. But, man, I'm kind of just, getting the cobwebs shaken out still after an hour and a half.
Hey, it might be rainy, but at least it's like 60 degrees outside.
I'm telling you what.
It's super nice.
That's why I wanted to stay home. It's like perfect. A little bit of humidity, too. Oh, chef's kiss. We're ready to rock.
It's also a good day to be down in the studio, too.
That's true. That's true. You don't want to be walking outside today or having fun. Right. But, Sean, man, what you guys have done over at Modified Auto, it's been a journey for you, but now you're over at Eastgate, and I have not seen, and right off the bat, didn't realize how developed Eastgate had got in just a short period of time.
Oh, my gosh, it's amazing. So Todd Kennedy, he's kind of the one that spearheaded the project. I don't know if you remember, like initially, Eastgate was in some pretty deplorable conditions, and Todd's wife, Julia, she owns the Julia's Banquet Center over there, which is just a fantastic business. If anybody needs, they do a full catering, any kind of event that you need, they'll cook, they'll provide the space, and it's beautiful.
At any level too, it doesn't matter. Seriously, I've seen them host the governor, didn't they?
They did some pretty neat stuff over there. More importantly, though, they were able to get a lot of square footage cheap when they got that place. Yeah. And I think then the opportunity came up, he had a vision, and the one thing I could say about Todd Kennedy is that he's not like your typical flashy owner,
Yeah.
If he made a promise to me, I could show up at any time during the construction of our shop there, and you could count that Todd was going to be on a ladder or he was going to be in a hole. He was covered in drywall, dust, or paint. He really put up. He's brought so much growth to small business, and with some new ideas and stuff that I just, Yeah, I'm super blessed to be a part of the Eastgate community, and it changed the level. You know, we were in that little small building there by Washington School in the car wash where the old Jerry's Tire used to be. We were there for 8 years, and wonderful business. Loved being in the neighborhood, but getting to step up into that brand new 5,000 square foot location is
it's like Christmas.
It is. Everything is brand new, and Todd let me sit down and with a piece of graph paper, and we drew where we wanted walls to be, and we picked colors, and I mean, I couldn't have done it without him, and yeah, so taking that next step. I mean, we got a little skin in the game too, but not nearly as much as Todd does.
Right, and see, that's the thing. We were talking on the phone, and I wasn't, I was only there for a couple of days because we were, with Rigged and Sewer Service. I helped my uncle out, and we were going and looking at some of the lines, locating them as that development was happening. And right away, I was going, this is a massive over. I mean, I didn't realize how badly the condition of that plaza was before, the renovation started.
Heck yeah, there was in a lot of the stalls there was no ceiling at all, and there was grass growing, and you could watch it rain right inside of them. And he completely, the infrastructure is completely redone. Like every single bay that gets done is brand new sewer, brand new electrical. They don't even try to keep any of the old stuff. It's easier. Let's just gut it and know that everything is 100%. So
yeah.
So moving there has been great. The East Alton community in general has been super easy to do business in. I mean, the city hall, the police department, the fire department, they've all been so supportive of their local businesses. We love to be a part of it.
Well, it makes a great point. I have always said this with East Alton. There's something special because everyone that's in the thick of it, at public safety down to business owners to you name it, it seems like in a really nice unit where you guys have each other's backs, you work together really well. And I wish more communities would model that because it's not as tight knit in other places as it is in East Alton.
Initially, when we were moving into the smaller building 9 years ago now, in August we celebrated our first full year in the new building, which is insane.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. But prior to that, when we first got into the new building down there, we were all wiped out. We had pretty much been building a company, and all. Essentially, what happened is I worked for Reliable Stereo, and I was a general manager for their company, and things weren't going well. And taking a step back and looking at, I had worked for local competition, Custom Sounds, and some other places. Yeah. And I just didn't like how the companies were ran. And I know we've all worked for a place where you just felt like a number. You didn't feel important.
Right.
And then as a customer, when you go into like an electronics business, you immediately have this feeling of, okay, I'm being victimized.
Yep.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's because of the sales atmosphere that is pushed so hard in this business. Look, it's not difficult. The reality of it is that if you give people what they want, what they really need, not what I'm trying to shove down your throat, not the latest, coolest, thing. If that's not what you need, we tell a story about a gentleman that came to us in a kind of a beat up old Chevy construction work truck, right? Front speakers were blown in there. He stops in and he says, I just like to drink my coffee, listen to my talk radio on the way to work in the morning.
RiverBender.com.
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. And he's like, I just need some speakers.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us that he had already got a quote at the competition. And so, looking at the truck and what it was, immediately I could see the fact that trying to sell him a $500 pair of speakers would be insulting to the situation.
Right. Right.
So he told me what his needs were, and I fulfilled them. So I gave him a quote for a very entry-level pair of speakers, very affordable pair. Our labor is already more affordable than our competition. We keep a close eye on that. And he was ecstatic. So where he got out the door paying $150 with us, he got a quote for $750 with the competition. And, the story doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
Okay. So about a week later, the same gentleman shows back up with a beautiful brand new pickup truck. And He wanted the full shebang, full stereo system, alarm, remote start, everything. Then we did his boat, his Harley Davidson. And so, right. The moral of the story is that he works hard, but he also plays hard,
Yeah.
And just being treated like, so first and foremost, we don't, at Modified Auto Sound, we don't have any employees that are commission paid.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic because it's the same thing I've said with certain plumbing companies that sound like an animal's name that have these sales reps that just hose people for tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm sure it's no different in your industry.
Well, no, and I had a very negative experience with a plumbing company that has a different name, but all matching trucks the same, and they had a service structure that was built, and it was built on upselling.
Yep.
And they tried very little, the old-fashioned throw a snake down the drain, right?
Yep.
I've never seen anyone that actually tried at it fail with a good piece of equipment, especially a good old-school sewer company, right?
1065, Spartan 1065 with Riverbender with Rigdon. You aren't going to go wrong. I can tell you that.
Right, and this company came out to our old location, and you see, we've got a blockage here. We're gonna have to go in with a cam.
Yep.
And now we're gonna have to go in with a water jet. Now we're gonna have to go in with this and that. We're gonna have to charge you for location and all these things. And it just escalated to it was like, unclogging a toilet was like we're at $1,500 now.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's no different in the car in the industry you're in, because to me, when you said that about the guy coming in just for talk radio, why do we need a bunch of speakers that are going to blow us out of the water when some old guy with a deep voice starts talking?
All he wants to do is just listen to his tunes and drink his coffee and drive to work, man.
That is so cool. And then in return, then you get a long-standing client and a customer
Absolutely.
that obviously loves your services.
And he wanted to jam on the boat, so the boat was the opposite. And those projects were spare no expense. I want the best that you can put in here. Let's literally make it happen. The idea behind it is that we sell you what you need, not what we need to sell you. And I mean. So we also wanted to do the same thing with our employees. We wanted to make sure that we broke the mold and kind of did things in a different way. So we against the advice of all kinds of wittier than I business folk, they telling me that you can never put your employees before your business. Well, we did that, and we've got a crew that's solid. We've got a crew that's loyal, and I believe that we're one of the best in the St. Louis metropolitan area. What we do, we definitely have one of the nicest shops. That's for sure.
Well, and too, it seems like when you do that, it just becomes more of like a family, and I think in small business, you definitely need that type of, relationship with your fellow, employees and coworkers.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you're going to be working on two separate islands and not achieving any goal.
We love it. Like we make a big deal about everybody's birthday.
Yeah.
We shut the shop down. We let them pick where they want to go, and we buy everybody, birthday lunch and have a great deal. Have just a great deal of time with it. The guys start off clocking in and they start making fun of each other in the morning. Well, I tell you what though, if you've got thin skin, you probably wouldn't last long back there in that shop.
Nope, I wouldn't last.
They look for a weakness and then they exploit it. They go for gusto on that.
That's fantastic. So let me circle back here. Let's take
Sure.
it back. Picture this, like Sophia and Golden Girls. 8 or 9 years ago, you're just starting the business. What when you started it, you gave us a little bit of the reason, but how did it first start? Was it always the same product? Was it always the same service, or did it evolve into what it is today?
Well, modified has pretty much been modified.
Okay.
There's been an evolution in life, of course. I didn't just kind of fall into it. I've been doing it for a long time. I'd worked for several other places. I worked for a place called Show Off Audio over in Missouri on Lindbergh, and unfortunately he wasn't taking care of the taxes the way he should have.
MC Hammer.
And I was a repossession agent actually for 10 years. So when prior to that, I owned a customizing shop where we did paint, body work, custom suspensions and stuff like that. And at the same time though, I was running my repossession business at night.
Did you have to repossess the employer that was bad on his taxes? Did you ever have to take anything?
No, but I got a funny story about that. That's kind of like that actually. He actually that employer at the Show Off Audio, he kind of did me a little dirty and didn't kind of pay me my last paycheck, and it was a bad situation. And when I went to work for Reliable, we went and actually liquidated his business.
Oh, I love it.
So I got to go with the new company card and pick up trucks, and we bought all of his hopes and dreams and put them in the back of a truck and took it back to Illinois. Now, as if that wasn't good enough, things started off really good for me at Reliable Stereo. It was a 50-plus family business. I really embraced it. Things went a different direction. Some of the employees weren't treated so well, and I couldn't stand for that. And eventually I decided to leave. And to warm my heart beyond, I still to this day can't believe it happened. But I decided that's it. I can't do this anymore. And I'm gonna do something else. And I went to quit, and every other employee there, including the cleaning kid, was like, "Well, we're coming with you," and I was like, "I don't have a pot to pee in,
right?"
And so I don't know what we're gonna do here, but I trusted the universe, and I trusted that I'm doing these things morally for the right reasons, and I know I've got this business, and I already had this incredible relationship and 15 plus years of experience already with distributors and where to get the product, and I already had a huge, awesome clientele built up. So for me, it was like, that rare chance that you get to open up a business with everything in place,
right?
A lot of great things happened. At the time, my head installer Ron had just bought a new house in Brighton, and he had a barn, a little farm area, and he's like, "Hey man, we can start off out there." And so a lot like your success stories with like Apple. And,
I was gonna say like Bill
like
Gates, you're in a garage. Yeah.
We started off in a little shop, and within about 3 weeks, I was able to acquire the building, get the insurance policies and all that. But before then, I started, I did a lot of my Reliable was so behind the times. Plus, they had like the one grandma phone on the wall.
I was gonna ask you. I swear to God, I was gonna say, did they have a rotary phone?
It wasn't rotary, but it was the one kitchen phone with like the 400 foot long cord. You would take it into the bathroom and talk to your girlfriend.
You can go to Godfrey and still make the call.
Right, right. So that and like one computer, and I think they were still doing taxes with an abacus. But that's one thing I did there is I was able to kind of bring it up to speed, and I wish things wouldn't have gone the way they did. However, Modified wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And as a turn of fate, when we get onto that farm, and I start getting telephone calls from all of our distributors. "Hey man, we heard what happened. We love you, brother. We got your back." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have these." Well, listen, I had one distributor set up a cash account in his own personal name so that we could still continue to order and take care of our clients until the tax ID, the county and stuff takes a little while for that stuff to process. So I need my tax ID to process and all that. And Solar Control Films in St. Louis is a warehouse that we buy all of our global window tint from. And I have for years before Modified. And Richard's the owner. And that guy's been amazing to me. He's just been a great distributor, and so loyalty is game one in any industry, right?
Right.
And so with the window tint company, he sent me like 2 boxes of every shade that he had on him and said, "Hey man, we want to help you get on your feet." And so those kind of sentiments go a long way. Well, later on, years in fast forward years in the other building,
right?
We had an issue where we lost our main window tinter. He decided to move on and do his own thing, which we always support growth and our, how can you be mad at somebody?
Right.
He made a decision that was better for his family, so he was moving on. But we were without a head window tinter, and our other guy was only partially trained. He was trained on how to stick windows at the time, but he didn't really he didn't have the hand cutting down yet.
Gotcha.
And I called Richard at Solar Control, and I was like, man, and keep in mind, back then we're talking maybe 2 or 3 years into the new business, so we're still in that struggle phase.
Yeah.
And I called Richard, and I said, hey man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm looking for some advice. I need to send my guy down to get some further training. And when's the next class? The next class was months off, and he's like, have you ever thought about going digital? And you know, back then you might as well have been talking $1 million,
right?
You know, because shoot, all those years ago, you know, this stuff was not a cheap technology. No. And he said, no, I've got. He said, I tell you what, Richard financed me out of his own pocket for almost $8,000 worth of equipment, which was a great big 40-inch Roland brand cutter, the laptop. A year in advance on the program that we continue because it's renewed. So
gotcha.
They're always adding new cars to it, the kind of thing, and so it was my like mission. We paid like double and triple payments to him and paid it off like way early, but there was no he did that with no contract, no handshake, just his word and my word. And I said, man, I think we're going to give it a shot. It shows up. So we're one of the only companies in the St. Louis metropolitan area that digitally cuts our film for our window tinting, which is awesome because that means there's no blade that actually gets used on your car to hand cut this film. We're inputting it into a machine or into a computer, blooping in the numbers. Yeah. And like magic, it cuts the film for us. So I think that's pretty cool. It's one thing that sets us aside. We're able to turn around your window tint job within your appointment, which a lot of people are saying. A lot of shops that drop it off in the morning and you can pick it up in the evening. Well, we can knock out a set of roll-ups or what we call roll-ups, just the front two to match. We can knock that out in 30 minutes while you wait in our waiting room and we got you on your way. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Well, and see, that's what I think is great because, you know, so many times it seems like any industry, any business, you know, they have one specialty thing. Maybe it's speed. You know, they're getting Jimmy John's, right? There's your sandwich. Get out of here. Or you got the ones that, you know, just focus on, you know, just giving you what you want, you know, and that's fine. We're honest, but that's it. You guys kind of have the gauntlet when it comes because you've developed it over, you know, 8 years. I think it's great.
We do, but we still also kind of control what, like we don't want to do any more expansion.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we want to do what we do and do it well, kind of like Jimmy John's.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They're not going to get into making pizzas because they do great with making sandwiches. So we do the newest thing that we've added is the truck and Jeep accessories.
That's a big thing.
Oh my gosh, it's been we don't have a lot of advertisement out there, but we're doing gangbusters in it. You know, the tonneau covers and running boards and the vent visors, and we're a WeatherTech dealer, so we're getting those cool floor liner floor mats. And
I didn't realize. I thought WeatherTech was a gimmick. I'm just going to be honest. So for like a year, I was laughing at my grandpa because he got why did you bought those floor mats for? Oh, they're the best. And I thought he was just saying that because he bought them. Changed my life. Literally changed my entire life.
Yeah, you spill 144-ounce soda on a set of WeatherTechs, and you're good to go. You're good to go.
Yeah,
but they laser trace the floors of these vehicles,
right.
And then they make these floor mats fit that a little oversized, you know, and protects your carpet, and it's good stuff. We do quite a bit of it.
Yeah, and so take me through this. So another thing too, because I've been telling people about my. I got a different car, so I have for the first time automatic start.
Oh yeah!
Oh my God, what a lifesaver in this building! I'm sitting right up there looking at the snow coming down, going, "Just gonna start that and let that one run for a little bit."
Going, yeah.
Go do another meeting, you know, then leave.
It's definitely our number one sales item through these months. Yeah.
And so now with this, I always heard, you know, you always get like I guess the insider articles that go, oh, don't do, you know, watch out for your starters. You better have more than a fourth a tank of gas or it's going to free. You know what I'm saying? All those little things.
All the little wise tales.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's really not an issue if you want to get a remote starter.
Not at all. And there's a lot of scare tactics out there.
Right.
And it's primarily, listen, we've been doing, I've got 27 years of experience in this, and not one time has there ever been an issue. Now, I mean, of course, you want to vet the quality of your installers.
Right.
Accidents can happen. But as far as a remote starter I mean, let's face it, guys, we're starting the car just as if you would with a key. one of the misconceptions is it's bad on your starter. Well, how can that be? How can that be? We're not doing anything but starting the car. And we're not starting the car 1,000 times.
Right.
Heck, these hybrids now, I mean, you want to talk about hard on starters?
Oh my!
That boggles my mind.
They stop and then you sit there and then it turns off and then when you drive it
And
turns
they start
back
on.
on. Yeah.
They start again. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a great point.
I don't know. I don't know how that. So my point is that one of the issues that we have, and this goes out to the consumer, whether you're our customer or not, if you're having trouble with a dealership's service department, remote starts are the number one scapegoat for problems with your vehicle. They for some reason they see that key fob or they see that antenna and they stop looking, and that's immediately the problem. And we are willing to pick up that phone and go to bat for you with those. We do a lot of dealer support remote starts.
Okay.
Quality Pontiac, Cadillac, Chevrolet. We the Nissan dealerships. Kia, we do a lot of window tinting and dealer prep for those people, and there's sometimes a disconnect between the service department and the sales department. But when they, we're willing to go to bat for you.
Well, and that's what's cool. I think that's something that's that I truly believe sets you apart too. Because if you're telling me, hey, we'll tackle this together. Let me give them a call, because let's be honest, sometimes no matter what dealership you go to, I'm not discriminating. It seems like the service, side of things, they don't really take you too seriously because, they got such and such years of experience. So that's a remote starter. So to have seriously somebody on our team really to help us with things like this is important.
Well, to save face, the dealership I was dealing with directly, we won't name names, but
right.
They, that gentleman even told me, with all due respect, sir, I'm the expert on this brand of vehicle. And I said, well, with all due respect, sir, I'm the expert on 12-volt accessories on any vehicle.
Right.
And I've got some codes for you that can help you with actually, and it's like, come on, let's put our macho down,
right?
And let's do what's right for the customer, because ultimately it's the customer that's suffering here.
Right. Well, and two, you bring up a good point too, because it seems like sometimes there's always that I'm planting my feet on the ground, I'm not budging over a starter. Is that really going to be the thing? Kind of.
Well, when you go, they don't understand how it works and where we're, you just think, oh, well, you're just cutting a bunch of wires and it's there's a lot of wires that we're tapping into. A lot of times it's T-lining a wire, which means that the wire still is completely intact. It's not, we're just kind of bypassing, an area, and the bypass modules and stuff, they memorize like the frequency of the key, and basically we're just mimicking the fact that your key's there and then putting in a safeguard so someone can't jump in and take off with the vehicle.
Well, I've told this before on the air in St. Louis. Everyone can complain about, they can have their perception about automatic start. It has changed my life. I'm telling you what, it is so much better than waking up and it's 20 degrees outside and I got to go outside, go start my car, freeze to death, walk back. It's not worth it. So we have about 3 minutes left, Sean, and we've been talking I told Sean 15 minutes or so, and we're talking for 25, but this has been really cool and a great conversation. So right off the bat, we're wrapping up. What are some of the main things that you'd like people to know about some of the services you provide? You just talked about the Jeeps, accessories, the trucks. Do you guys do lift kits?
We don't. We can't sell you the products.
Okay.
We're just not tooled to do that.
Okay.
Again, that falls into the, we're going to concentrate on what we do and do it well. We at Modified Auto Sound, we are your full service stereo shop. So we've got all your speakers and amplifiers and aftermarket stuff in stock, typically speaking. We do all your security. So we're going to do your alarms, your remote starts, your keyless entries and things like that. We also do LED accent lighting.
Oh,
we do a ton of that, and the Jeep industry has exploded, and so we like to do a lot of the customizing of that stuff. David, our one of our techs, he's super good at it. We use one brand. We use XK Glow. It's app. You operate it with an app on your phone. A million different color choices. But he actually, being that we use one brand,
yeah,
he's very versed in it. You know what I mean? So it's something we've specialized in. We've got our other main technician has over 27 years experience doing this. Came from a company that worked on Ferraris and Lamborghinis and such, and so his tool set that he has is indispensable.
I gotta see that. It's
pretty amazing. He's got his tool chest is as big as this entire cabinet, this entire table we're sitting at. And he uses a lot of specialty tools that he's collected along the way, and computers and things that a lot of shops don't have. So we can turn on airbag lights and turn them off. We can do a lot of things.
That's awesome. So the best way for people to reach, just give you guys a call, check out your website. What's the best way?
Yeah, the best way. Well, our website is kind of in construction
development.
Facebook page, Modified Auto Sound on Facebook, is about the best way to see what we're doing and what's going on with us. But jump in the car and shoot on down to Eastgate Plaza. We're 241 Eastgate Plaza, and we're right next door to the Dollar General, so we're easy to find. The best way is just come on by and see what we got. Let us know what you need. And
absolutely. I'm just playing some wrap-up music. We're out of time. About 20 seconds left, but you got to check out Sean. It's an incredible company, Modified Auto. I will see you guys back here tomorrow with the full slate of guests live at 9. So on that note, have a great day, and try your best to stay out of jail.